Right everyone, and welcome back to Season 16 of AOR, Xbox One, F2, and we're here today then for the 9th round of the season, the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, and we're here then on our best qualifying lap, and yeah, hoping for another points finish then to keep up the sort of run we're on at the moment. We've had well, three in a row now then, after yeah, we didn't score in Spain, and then yeah, I think before that we were doing sort of quite well with point finishes. So yeah, just sort of keeping up the momentum after that. Then in a sort of quite close midfield battle, I think just keeping up the points finishes should see us sort of hopefully get back into the top half of the championship, because I think we did slide out a bit after the last race. Then we dropped down to about 12th place. So yeah, we'll be hoping for a little bit better here today and to try and hopefully sort of elevate us back up into those higher places. But yeah, it should hopefully be a good race here then. This is always a track that have quite enjoyed. Hasn't always been my best one, but just one that I'm always quite familiar with, and yeah, always just enjoy driving here, and especially like with these cars as well, always quite fun to throw into these corners. So yeah, hoping for a good race here then. And of course the home race for most people on the grid, so yeah, obviously sort of incentive quite high for quite a lot of people here then to get a good result. But it is more so then who takes pole position, keeping up that Force India dominance really. But in fact Clay's actually manages to split them on the grid then, so it's Holland down in third, the championship leader there, as we qualify in 11th then, so probably the best place then outside the top 10, as our teammate is 17th, and yeah, we'll hopefully put that to good use then in the race. It's time for race day then, here at Silverstone, and we're just moments away then from the 9th round of the AOR F2 season, and we're back here then where it all began in F1 back in 1950, with obviously a much modified track layout now then. Weather here is looking pretty good, light cloud, and yeah, hoping it stays that way for the duration of the race. Here for our 25th league race then at Silverstone, and it has been a very successful track for us over the years then. Well, like the past few seasons, then 12 podiums, and we have had 3 wins in that time. Although it does have one unfortunate start for us then from last season, where we finished 17th in AOR F1, and that's our lowest ever finishing position in a league race. So yeah, hoping to sort of rectify that this year then with a strong result. As we're now going to take a look then at the circuit, and yeah, as I say, it's been modified quite a bit over the years. Obviously we've had the sort of the newer pit straight since 2010. And yeah, we've got 3 DRS zones in fact then for this season, and yeah, one of them then is down the Wellington Straight and into Brooklands here. Then you can get moves done there on the inside and the outside, and yeah, one of the best places always to overtake then is down the Hanger Straight into Cops. And in fact, if you don't get a move done here, but you do get a good run, then you can certainly go for a bit of a heavy braking then into the final chicane then for sort of Vale and Club, and you can be side by side then to the start finish line. So yeah, should be some good places then to overtake, should see some good battles then, as we've got the soft, medium and the hard tyres then for the only time this season. But it doesn't look like we're going to be using them here then, as we are actually going to start on the mediums and go over to soft later then, so a little bit different from what we usually do. But yeah, I think here that it's just probably worth it, seems right outside the top 10 to go for that, then hopefully gain a bit of an advantage on those up in front of us later on in the race then. So yeah, we're off now then on the formation lap, and yeah, just yeah, well, obviously the top 10 will be on the soft sides then, but it's looking like maybe a bit of a mixed bag behind us then. Have to wait and see what those behind us have done. As bit into the formation lap, we've got Sierra Rosberg off the road then, so yeah, not really sure what he's doing, but in fact then he left the session. So yeah, that was what happened then, so that's a big shame for him then. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to rejoin back or not at this point, but yeah, he does later on. So yeah, he's going to have to catch up a bit then. I think his AI car did keep on going in fact, so yeah, he should be able to join on to the back of the field then and retake his grid position, as we see then a few people on the mediums then along with us. So yeah, Franglish, Dralex, and I think our teammate did, I think Bobbitt's did. So yeah, they're probably going to be the people we're racing with quite a lot in this race, as yeah, hopefully we won't trip over anyone like we did in season 15, because I think that's where our race went wrong on that occasion. We tried a similar strategy and then yeah, got caught up in instance early on. As Rosberg then rejoins, but still says he's got an X next to his name, so yeah, he's going back to his grid slot then. He is still in the race, but we're in the lobby as we're still on the grid then, and nothing is happening. 20 seconds pass and then, yeah, he's off. So, no idea what's going on here then. We're still waiting. Still waiting. A minute passes, we're still sat here, and Rosberg is nearly completed the lap, and the lights are finally coming on, and he's left the session and realised what's happened. And we are finally away then, and my god, our tyres are stone cold. We just cannot get them to find any tarmac at all, and yeah, we lose a position then off the start to Jork there then, as there's been a spin up in front of us then for Pelsbury, and yeah, we're just losing places then. I mean, I don't know if everyone had cold tyres, but we were certainly suffering with it one of the most, it looks like. I don't know if there's maybe just a difference between the mediums and the soft, but yeah, we were struggling massively then with cold tyres here then. We were sat on the grid for well over a minute there, waiting for the lights to come on, because yeah, they just would not come on until Rosberg left the session, and he is nearly a lap ahead of everyone, although I think he is backing off now, as we're still lining up the rear tyres and trying to find some grip with them, as yeah, they're still very cold then, and yeah, we're just going to have to take a lap or two here then to try and warm them up, and yeah, try and get into the race then. But we have lost positions then. We're down to 13th, so it hasn't been a good start for us then. On to lap 5, we're still in 13th then, as there's a battle going on in front of us then between Smith and then Welty, and we nearly run into the back there of the Toro Rosso as it bunches up into Vale. As yeah, we get a good run then out of the final corner. He can't really overtake though. This is a DRS thing, but he can't really overtake into turn 1 because it's pretty much flat out, so it's a bit of a weird one that, but I guess it just sort of brings you closer for the run down the Wellington straight, which I guess was the logic in real life, but yeah, it doesn't work as well in the game, I guess. But yeah, we nearly ran into the back there of Welty as he braked quite a bit earlier than us there, and yeah, we nearly ran into the back of him. Yeah, so we got a bad run out of those next few corners then. We're going to defend near the Toro Rosso then, Franglish. We managed to outbrake him then. Do go a bit deep though, so we're going to have to defend the inside line here then into left field, as we nearly lose the back end again there in fact, and yeah, we're going to have to, well, we're going to have a bit of a job here now and to try and hold on into the position, but it's quite hard to overtake here, especially running outside into cops, and yeah, you do have to be right alongside someone to be able to do that, and yeah, we managed to maintain the position then for the time being, but he is still over the back of us then, as we head now then into Maggots and Beckett's then, as Welty a bit out of shape in front of us then, so maybe we can catch up to him, but I don't think we're going to get DRS on this occasion, unfortunately, and it's going to be quite hard for us to keep Franglish behind. But having said that, he did have quite a bad run though, it looks like, through those few corners, but then he does still catch right up to the back of us then, and on the brakes we're going to be side by side then through Stowe, and it looks like we've just about managed to maintain a position then. We go defensive into Vale then to make sure he doesn't try and directly inside there, and we managed to maintain the position for the time being. But then on to the next lap, he's got a very good run again this time, and well, a much better run this time I should say, and he's going to pass, it looks like running outside. We end up steering to him a little bit there, and I don't really know what happened, because I don't know if there was even really contact on my screen or not, but it seemed like he slowed down quite a lot on his, so maybe he had a bit of a bigger hit than was the case on my screen. As we have got Hayden, I think, in the pit lane, Melanie in as well, and yeah, that is going to move us up to 11th place then as the soft tyre runners start to come in. As yeah, Franglish once again with a very good run then down the hanger straight, and it looks like maybe this time he's going to make it stick, is he? Side by side, he's going to be inside line for Vale, so he may well make it stick this time up the inside. It looks like that is going to be the case. We'll try and do a bit of a switch back here then, try and get a good run out of club, but I don't think we're going to really be able to go anywhere with it. And yeah, he had DRS, I think, I'm not sure, maybe I don't really know what happened there, but yeah, because I didn't have it, didn't look like he had it. And we're now going to go back up inside into turn 3. Can't remember which corner then, but that is, always forget what the new ones are called. And looks like we're back to Rolly, but no, he's got a very good run out of the turn 4 there then, and yeah, he's going to get back ahead. We've got DRS, so we've got something to overtake. We're going to try and go right outside then. He covered the inside line, so yeah, we tried to get to the outside, but yeah, couldn't make it stick. He did run a little bit wide in left field, but again, just nowhere really to go there, so he is going to maintain 9th position for the time being. And unfortunately, just all of us on mediums are now just bound with each other, so we're really just all hurting each other. There's quite a few people come in there then, more so Verstappen and some other people, I think. And then a few laps later then we've got Smithson in the pits. The two Torossi then stay out there. They're still battling for us. They have got a little bit of a gap to us now then, as we've got Bollitz just behind us and we've got Beefos just come into the pits then. And yep, later on in that lap then we've got Bollitz then just behind us into Brooklands. We get tapped from behind. He did actually say that was desync, so fair play to him for actually even still waiting. And yeah, that has unfortunately lost us a few seconds out. And yep, Dralex is now onto the back of us then. Down the Wellington straight, we're going to go defensive once again. He does have a very good run on the Stoke, so he may be able to run it right outside. And yeah, he's not going to get the inside line then for left field. And yeah, I think it's going to be quite hard to defend this, but we do get a good drive there around the outside. And yeah, through Woodcote then we're side by side. We're up into overtake then. Can we maintain this on the outside? It's going to be very difficult to do so. Into Cox corner, and well, got very close to contact, but he does make it stick then. Get very good pass from there then, and yeah, we'll just try and stick with him then through Maggots and Beckett's, try and get a good run onto that hanger straight. And yeah, well, that hasn't happened then. He got a much better run than this, and then we went onto the grass anyway, so yeah, that didn't go too well. And now Bobbitts is going to have a good run on us then down the hanger straight, right outside into Stoke corner. Looks like we just managed to outbrake him there though, and we maintain, well, 4th place on the track, but much less than that once we pit, as I think Bobbitts came in and also LGS came in as well then, so they're going to get a lap undercut on us then. We're going to pit now, hoping for an undercut on Dralex there then, as in we come then for our stop and this painfully slow pit lane. And yeah, hope for well, hopefully we won't be undercut, and yeah, hopefully we can catch up to those who are now on the mediums with our soft tyres. But yeah, I really do just think that there were too many of us on that strategy, and we all just like battle with each other, and I feel like it has ultimately hurt us really, because yeah, we sort of really just needed to like drive our own race on the mediums, but we ended up just like all on the same bit of track together and all battling. So I think we just ended up playing each other, really taking time off of one another, and I think we've all given ourselves a bit of a job to do here then to actually get back into it, as in fact we rejoin in last position then as Pelsry is out of the race, and LGS is second last. So yeah, that really has not worked out well at all for us then, as in fact Dralex then pits a lot later than us and rejoins ahead of both of us. So yeah, that really just has worked out in the worst possible way for us then. So yeah, we certainly have a job to do now then, and yeah, we've got 10 laps then to try and somehow salvage some points as LGS lose the back end through Chapel. And yeah, that's going to be pretty much race over for him then, as he's got damage there. So that's a big shame for our teammate, as there's then an incident with Franglish who spins off to the inside somewhere. I couldn't see where his car was, but on the map he was somewhere off to the inside there, so don't really know what happened to him. But yeah, that does move us up to 16th position then, as there is a battle up in front of us down between Smiths and X Power, and it looks like Dralex is joining us in this one as well. Clays is just up the road as well. It looks like he has just got ahead of them, as yeah, Dralex is going to go side by side then with the Williams driver, and we're going to get DRS on the pair of them. Then we're going to try and see if we can take Dralex then into Brooklyn. It's going to be quite difficult to do so though, as it just seems to be like a recurring theme really, like in quite a few races this season, that we just end up on the back of DRS trains. But yeah, hopefully we can make some progress this time, as yeah, into Maggots on lap 20. We're right on the back then of what is now a 4-car train and led by the Red Bull driver, as yeah, we're a little bit slow though out of that corner, so we haven't really like made the most of it, and yeah, we're really going to struggle to do anything with our DRS here then, as it's nearly 3 wide up in front of us, and X-Power trying to run around the outside into Stowe, but he's going to get run out wide there, and Dralex is going to take the pair of them then. We're able to take X-Power, and yeah, we're up then to 15th position, as yeah, we're all just scrapping over 13th at the time being, But yeah, points positions then not too far up the road. There is another group up in front of us, but yeah, we're really gonna have to try and get a move on and probably hope for some misfortune for those in front of us if we are gonna score some points today. Then we are going to get a good run then on Ollie into turn 3 here up the inside, and through you go then. But it looks like he's going to fight back into turn 4. We should hopefully get a good drive here out of that corner and through turn 5. He does nudge us slightly off the track there, and we get our third one of the race, and that means a 3-second time penalty, which yeah, I do plan on getting, well, appealing, as in fact there is a crash there between Verstappen and Infamous Clays, and that moves us up to 12th position then. So yeah, we've gained 3 places on this lap, but we do have a 3-second time penalty, which yeah, I do feel that should be taken off. So that was one that I was planning on appealing then, because, well, if I didn't get any more warnings, that is, because yeah, I really feel that that was not fair. I mean, it was a racing incident, but still, we pushed off track there, and yeah, you can't really blame us for that. So I feel that it should have been taken off. So yeah, we'll wait and see then the result of that. But we get a great run then on Bobbits through towards Stowe Corner, as it has started to rain during all this, which was totally not forecast. So yeah, another thing there to mention, as we did manage to actually get around the outside of Bobbits into Cops Corner then. So yeah, managed to get to 11th place then, and now we're battling with 2 laps to go with Dralex for what is now looking like the final point. Of course, Stewart's decision is going to ride on it by the looks of things, but yeah, we're right on the back then of the Haas driver with only a lap and a half to go here then, and we get a great run then towards the Cops Corner. But I think it's going to be hard to repeat that overtake for a second lap in a row, and yeah, he's going to cover that then, but maybe a little bit out of shape then, obviously having to go a little bit defensive. So yeah, if we can just stick with him then through these few corners, we should hopefully get a good run onto the hangar straight. But once again, it just seems that we never really had a good drive out of that second part. So well, nonetheless though, we do have a great run though, going into Cops Corner and rounding outside. It looks like we have just about managed to take it then, so maybe he had a bit less ARS than us then, because yeah, it seemed that we did manage to gain it back quite quickly then down that straight, and we did manage to hang on to it then. So we managed to find ourselves back into the points then, incredibly, after yeah, being 18th with about 10 laps to go. We crossed the line then, and in fact Rosberg then, after all that, he did try and give back the places that he gained, but I think I forgot to mention actually that Rosberg rejoined afterwards, after he initially left so that we could start the race. But obviously I think his clock started obviously a minute and a half before ours did, so when he let people through, it started a minute and a half to his race time, which I think he did try and appeal. But the thing is, obviously he did do that, but I think it's just because you don't know, even though he did try and give back the place as quickly as possible, you just don't know how someone's race would have turned out otherwise. So I think it was a bit of a harsh decision. I can understand why the stewards did that, and yeah, it does mean that then we got moved up to 10th then, and it did become 9th because my steward's inquiry for that penalty was successful and my penalty was taken off. So we do end up actually 9th in the end, so a couple of points, not a bad result really, considering where we were sort of after our pit stop. And yeah, I don't have the stand in this first one, but it was actually all changed after this, because well, more so won the race from Holland and then Melanie. But then after that, well, a few days after the race, yeah, it was announced that more so in Holland were going to be moving up to the top tier then, because they needed drivers. So yeah, obviously it's good news for them then, moving up to the top tier. Obviously more so was their last season, so it's good to see him getting back up there. And he's certainly shown that he's quick enough to be in the top tier. Obviously Holland does as well, being a championship leader. But I think for our tier, some people are saying, oh, it's good because it gives us, the rest of us, a bit more of a chance. But in some ways I think it's kind of a shame, because they weren't miles ahead, and I think their battle was really good. Even though they were sort of dominating, they were very closely matched. There was a very interesting battle at the front, and it was a real challenge, I think, for people to be getting in between them and beating them, which some people were doing. So yeah, and also just it messed up the standings, which is it may seem like a stupid reason to like not be like that happy with it, but it like the standings from now on are just going to look so wrong because there's going to be so many results missing, like at the top. So yeah, obviously we are going to have like a much more like closer battle for the championship, I guess, between the McLaren drivers. I think Dralex, who else is there? Rosberg, of course, Clays, I think. So obviously it's still going to be a very good championship battle, but obviously I think it is a bit of a shame really that we're not going to see that, you know, Force India head to head for the rest of the season. But I mean, it does obviously open us up some more opportunities for us to, you know, challenge for podiums. So yeah, we'll try and come back then. Obviously this was the Christmas break after this, so you can see how far behind I am on uploads. So yeah, may open up some more chances. I really do want to try and get some podiums in the second half of the season. I really just feel like I've done alright during this sort of first part, but just haven't been quick enough. Well, I've not made mistakes, but just haven't been quick enough really. And yeah, obviously we'll try and, you know, get some better results then after Christmas break, obviously, which is long gone by now. But yeah, well, I'll see you next up. Germany then, Hockenheim. Haven't raced there in a while. Hope for a good result there. And yeah, that'll be it for today then. Hope you enjoy it. Leave a like if you did. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.